Yeah. So yes, last year I decided that I wanted to start to do concert videography. It's something I always had in mind, but I never did it. And to give you an idea, I've been working in IT for 20 years, mostly backend DevOps, and I realized that maybe it's not for me anymore. I think AI killed the magic of coding, and yeah. So I wanted to do something more creative. But I figured out after a few months of working on the project, buying a lot of equipment, that it's actually useful to have web development skills or web app skills. Even IT can be used for video production. So that's my story. Yeah, so how people do it normally? It depends. If it's for television, it's kind of broadcast production. You will have all cameras going to a vision switcher, and also all microphone going to an audio mixer. And there will be one guy for the audio, or two guys sometimes, one for the audio that is recorded and one for the audio that is actually front of house. And even sometimes a third guy in large production that is mixing the sound that the musicians hear, monitors. And each musician has a different monitor. It's quite complex. This is for the sound part. And for the vision, you will have, usually cameras are manned, but sometimes they can be on a jeep crane. They can be on a slider. They can just be on a tripod without anyone. But in large production, normally you will have one person behind every camera. So that means a team of 4 to 10, maybe even more people. We are not talking of Eurovision. We are talking of rock bands, 3-4 musicians in music bars. And that is the problem, is that in music bars, you don't have space to run cables. And traditional productions, they have cables, SDI, which is kind of pro version of HDMI, which can run on a coax cable or optical fiber. And that's how they do it. Sometimes they use wireless video links also, but I don't have. Oops, I went too fast. You saw everything. Okay, so I don't have that need actually. For me, it's easy. The sound is the most important, because when you watch a concert video on YouTube, for example, the quality of the sound is the most important. So I need also to have a good quality. So I record the sound separately, and for that I use a mixer with a USB interface, and that goes on a computer, which we call a DAW, digital audio workstation, something like Logic Pro by Apple. Or I use Ardour, which is open source. It runs on Linux, but it's very good digital audio workstation. This is to record the audio. So all the instruments goes to my mixer, and the mixer is connected to a computer. That's one thing. And for the cameras, because I'm working alone, I cannot be behind every camera. I need to monitor everything at the same time. Also, I don't use broadcast cameras because I don't need to do a live stream. I just need to record everything, and I will mix later the vision and the sound in post-production. It will take probably 1-2 weeks per concert of 90 minutes, but I will get the best results. And I don't have that need of live to stream live, not yet. So I don't have a vision mixer. I use bridge cameras by Canon. And these Canon bridge cameras, they don't really have many live control solutions, unfortunately. So I need to find a solution. Yeah, so that's what I just told now. So the camera record inside, normally on an SD card, and the sound is separate. But since I work alone, to keep the production cost low, I want to find an efficient way to control everything from an iPad, typically. So it's wireless. I can be fixing a cable on the stage. I can be behind. It has to be something efficient on mobile. So I looked for many solutions. So what do we want to control in a camera? We want to have the live view to see if the framing is good, if there is not someone passing in front, if you are in focus, most important thing, to be in focus, if the exposure is good. You want to stop recording, and it has to be quick because the bands, they do breaks. And after the break, they start in 10 seconds, so it has to be very quick. You have to react very fast. You have to monitor the storage, because if it's a long concert, you might run low on the SD storage. So maybe during intermissions, you have to change the SD cards. I use large SD cards, but when you record uncompressed video, it takes a lot of space. My Blackmagic design camera, it fills up 250 gigabytes in 1 hour. So these are large files. The white balance, the focus, I said, can be manual or auto. You might use manual focus if it's a wide shot, because if you want someone passing in front, you don't want the autofocus to focus on that person. But sometimes autofocus can be good too, and there are different modes. You can focus on the eyes, recognize the face using some machine learning algorithm, or you can just focus on an object like a guitar. During a guitar solo, you might do a close-up. And you want the aperture, so you can control the depth of field with the aperture. And you want the shutter speed normally is fixed, but can be nice. ISO sensitivity, so you don't go too high, so you don't get too much noise. The sound level, because we still use the onboard recording of the cameras to sync in post, to sync the sound, it's useful to have the audio since you don't have a clapperboard. And the battery level. Normally, they are powered by an external power bank, which has a large capacity for a few hours, but you might still need the internal battery sometimes. And the cameras, they are everywhere in the venue. It can be a very small venue, but maybe it might be larger venue. So normally you will have a wide cam like the one I have in the back that has a fixed, safe shot on the stage. There will be close-up cam on the singer mostly, with a 50mm or 70mm lens. It depends on how far away you are. If you are far away, you will have very long focals. But if you are in front of the stage, you will, okay. So different locations. So, and sometimes you have the audience in between. So you cannot run from one camera to another. It's not a video clip. The concept is mostly for the audience. It's not for me. It's not mostly for video. So you have to adapt to the venue, and that's a tricky part. And eventually I will do this in DaVinci Resolve, that I use the software I use. I will do multicam editing with the live feed of every camera. This is just for the vision, but then there is a sound mix because I will have one track for every instrument, even for every microphone on the drums, which has 3-4 microphones, and you need to do a mix. But that's a different thing, but that's the idea. So you will do what a vision mixer does live, you will do it in post, but that's the same idea. To select the camera, sometimes you reframe the camera. You might, because you have 4K cameras, or you can do reframing. That's nice. You can do some nice effects. And I look for existing solutions. 3 solutions I found. Canon as an official camera control app, because I use Canon EOS mirrorless cameras that are made for photography and video. They are hybrid. So they are good for both, actually. But many people use them these days for video. And they have an official app. So I tested it. There is also DJI, which has this solution that is on this camera here. I will talk about it in a minute. And yeah, third one is middle control. So first one, Canon, it uses actually to control the camera remotely. It uses a combination of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So it detects the camera by Bluetooth, and then it turns on the onboard Wi-Fi of the camera by Bluetooth if it's not already turned on. But the onboard Wi-Fi of the camera has a limited range, especially because the other device is either a smartphone or an iPad. So these are both devices that have very weak antennas. So you don't have a good range. It's a bit better than Bluetooth, but it's not enough. I tested it live. It was a disaster. I couldn't control the camera. The band started playing. Never again. It's not made for that. It's made for photographer. It's because it can be used for photography and video, but they didn't have that need in mind. You still get the live view, and you have the full control of the camera, which is nice. And what else? The camera has a Wi-Fi access point. That means you can control with one device, like a smartphone like this. You have the live view. You can control one camera at a time. I have 4 cameras. Do I need 4 smartphones? It's not convenient. Plus, if you have 4 Wi-Fi signal, you will have interferences. It's not nice. There are not many. On these cameras, they don't only have 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which is worse. So it's not good. Yeah, it disconnects frequently. Like when the app is in the background, it disconnects. And then there is this one, DJI, Raven Eye, very good DJI, they do very good drones. I mean, Ukrainians, they know it now. DJI, they do amazing drones. They also do good gimbals, because drones actually use a gimbal technology to stabilize the camera. And they also make a lot of accessories for video producer, like this small box, which is a video transmitter. It gets a HDMI signal from the camera, and it transmits it over a Wi-Fi link, 5 gigahertz at time, which is better, to a mobile device. So you have a companion app, and it has a much better range. It's nice. To have a live view, it's a very good solution. It can still control one camera at a time. So you still have the same problem, but a better range. But it can proxy some control using the USB cable from the device to the camera, or the Bluetooth. It proxy via Bluetooth on the local link, the control. So you can start, stop. You can set shutter speed, aperture, ISO sensitivity. It's quite good, but it misses some settings, some key settings. You cannot see how much memory you have, battery level, because these are different. If you have a Sony cam, if you have a Blackmagic, a Canon cam, these are different. These are vendor specific, and they cannot support all cameras. When you buy this device, you have to be careful that your camera is compatible with it, because there is a list of cameras that are supported. So it's still not the best solution for me. Now I found this French company called MiddleSync, and they develop an app called Middle Control that controls also all camera. It can control all camera. It's made for medium to large productions actually, but you need to buy an additional hardware which is much more expensive. It's like 400 euros. This one costs only 80 euros, 100. But for the device from my Middle Control, it costs 400 per camera. That's a bit over my budget. And it runs only on macOS. You need to have a Mac, and I have a Linux PC. So I need to get a MacBook just for that. That's a bit too much. I wish there would be an iPad version, and it cannot control Canon camera, so it's out of game for me. But it's very good for Sony and Blackmagic. Life is so complex. So, well, why not to develop my own solution? But how do I do it? I checked Canon, and they have two APIs. They have an SDK, which is an old SDK using a USB cable. So it's still supported. It's made for Windows and macOS. For developer, we develop custom solution based on these platforms. And there is a newer API called CC API that is using Wi-Fi, and it's an IP protocol. It's actually a REST API, so very web developer friendly. And that's what I decided to use. So you have to flash the firmware of your camera. Unfortunately, it's not turned on by default. You need to subscribe as a developer, sign a non-disclosure agreement, and they send you a firmware upgrade for your camera, and then it enables this API. Just why is it do? They should have it turned on by default. And then the camera acts as a server, so you can send REST command to the camera. You can get a lot of data from the camera, and you can even get the live view. Low resolution, but it's still a live view. It's still enough for me. And also, because I'm doing a web app, I can also control my digital audio workstation. Because the software I use, Ardour, which runs on Linux, Mac, and Windows, it has a WebSocket API, experimental. So from a web app, I can also use WebSocket to stop the recording of the audio. So from the single app, maybe that's a solution. I can control all cameras and the sound recording from an iPad. That's amazing. This is my website, by the way, but I will do a demo for you. Hopefully it works. Well, this is a Canon API. Which technology did I use? I use Angular because I already did some projects with Angular, and it's always easier to use technology you know. But I think it's quite good for that. I mean, I know a lot of people prefer React, but anyway, I learned Angular, though. Left control. So it's still kind of prototype, but you can see that there is a heartbeat here, and the heartbeat says that it's actually polling the camera. It's using a command, and it's polling every few seconds. It polls the camera to see if it's still alive, if the connection is alive. And then if there is a change of settings on the camera, it will report. For example, I change the mode. You see, this is which camera? It's the camera 3. You see on the back, on the bottom, you see the mode is M. And if I switch on the camera the mode, on the dial up, it will. There's a bit of latency. It switched to program. You see, yeah. Unfortunately, it's not very real time. But it also works, of course, in the other direction. Let me show you the live view from the camera in the back, which is camera 2. So we can see it's a bit dark. So maybe if I set the aperture value to 2.8, that may make the image a bit brighter. Or I can even increase the ISO sensitivity to 800. Yeah, you see there is a bit of latency, so it's still not good. But I think it's because they use 2.5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, and I need to poll also. The problem I had, the technical problem I have is this CRS, you know, CRS, cross-site, what's the name of? Thanks, cross-origin. And because I'm in an Angular context and I'm sending command to another server, which is a camera directly, I tried that because each camera has a static IP address. The problem is that this camera doesn't have these headers in the HTTP answers. And since it doesn't have the headers, and I cannot, normally in a web app, you control the server more or less. But here you cannot, and Canon didn't, no, there is no way to set the header. So unless you can, I cannot, because I need this on my smartphone, on my iPad, I cannot also control the browser very much. So I needed to use Nginx as a reverse proxy. In a way, it adds latency, but what I didn't tell you is that I record the sound on a Raspberry Pi, which is running AirDoor, Linux, Debian, and it's on the stage, and it's connected by Ethernet to my router. I have my own router on board, Ubiquiti, very good technology, like here, by the way. And I doesn't have much latency, because anyway, the signal has to go to the access point. So I think it's still acceptable. But I wish, if I was recording a concert in the street, I wish I could use this solution. I need an infrastructure, an access point. That's a problem. Okay, and then what else can I do? I can start recording, of course. It's still a prototype, so I wish there would be a time code. I will add more things. I will have the audio level. It's still prototype. You can see also how many frames per second it gets on the live view. It's quite low, 6 per second. We definitely don't use this to the follow focus. Follow focus, it's called a cinematography. When you manually change the focus from one person to another when someone is talking during a dialogue. So you can do this, for example, the drummer finishes solo, and then the guitarist starts playing, so you will move the focus from one to another. You cannot do this with it's too slow. You need to have a lower latency. That's why I also have this system, which is what I showed you before. And it's quite nice because, let me show you the live view from this camera, it will be better. You see, I can even choose the quality of recording, 4K or Full HD, and this is not turned on, so that's why it doesn't work. It's to boot. So I can control the gimbal like this. So it's nice because I can even have a movable, even if the camera is not, doesn't have a camera, I can still move the shot a little bit. And what's nice is that DJI, they have a feature when it can track the person. So if I move, it automatically tracks me. It's like if you have a virtual cameraman. It's very useful if you have a singer which is a bit energetic and moves off stage. So it actually tracks the singer, and I can be manually controlling another gimbal maybe. That's the idea I have, to have one gimbal on the left side of the stage, one on the right maybe. But every venue is different, so you cannot generalize. And one fixed camera in the back, one camera behind the drummer maybe to get the drummer shot. It depends. So I will also learn because I'm also learning at the same time. But it's nice to have this technology that helps us. Like this is actually using machine learning. The machine learning is on board in the device on the top. It analyzes the HDMI stream, and it actually controls the gimbal over USB. That's a very nice solution I found. So I have a solution to control the gimbal over Wi-Fi link. It works at 50 meters. I know the live view, I tested it. It also works in open environment on 50 meters. So I think maybe not O2 Arena, but I think I can shoot at larger venues. And yeah, it's a good solution. Any questions, or that's all for me?
No, well, that's all from you, Sylvain?
It's too short?
No, we are maybe on the other end of the problem, that it's maybe too long. But no worries. Well, give it up for Sylvain.
Thanks.